Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the academic procession and the Chancellor.
I declare that the 621st Convocation of McMaster University for the Conferring of Degrees is now in session.
Please be seated. Good afternoon and welcome. I am Dr. Susan Tai, and I'm privileged to serve as Provost and Vice President Academic at McMaster University. This afternoon, I have the great pleasure of acting as your Master of Ceremonies and of welcoming all of you graduates and guests to this convocation ceremony. On behalf of the university, I would like to recognize and acknowledge that today we meet on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee nations, and within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. We must remember that we all have a role to play in upholding the spirit of this agreement, which urged for the peaceful sharing of Earth's resources. We must also not forget that by merely acknowledging our presence on the traditional lands is only a small step towards our shared path to reconciliation. I challenge you to consider how we can foster reconciliation among the many peoples that inhabit this land. I would like to start today's proceedings by introducing some of the notable leaders joining me on stage today. Our Chancellor, Ms. Santee Smith, President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. David Farrar, Vice Provost, International Affairs, Dr. Peter Masher, Associate Dean Academic, Dr. Steve Ranilovich, Associate Deans, Directors, Chairs, faculty members, and honored guests. Before we start our formal program, I would please like to ask you to turn off your phones or any electronic devices. We do not want to have any unexpected calls during the ceremony. I would now like to call upon our Chancellor, Ms. Santee Smith, to deliver the Thanksgiving address and make her welcoming remarks.
Niawe, thank you, Provost Tai. Sego, Sewagwego, greetings everyone, and Watgwinuwalado, welcome. Welcome honored guests, staff, families, friends, colleagues, and faculty from McMaster University and Mohawk College. Before we begin today, I would like to start with the words before all else, also known as the Thanksgiving Address, and I'll be saying it in Gaingeha, the Mohawk language. Se watahosios ne gat ne galewesa, ne ona ne angalehohetste ne ganawala donsula. These are words of thanksgiving with the aim of bringing our minds and hearts together to acknowledge, give thanks, affirm our interconnections and interdependence, cultivate compassion and kindness, and recognize our responsibilities in sustaining and maintaining this delicate balance and peace with all creation. It's also a time for us to think about those who are ill, sick, or hurting, that these words may also bring together their minds and hearts. Daitinu walaro ne ongwe su'a, eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give our greetings and we acknowledge the people, our ancestors, our family, our friends, all nations. So be it in our minds. Daitinu walaro ne yatini stoha jahonjade eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give acknowledgement and gratitude to our Mother Earth, for she provides us with everything that we need to survive and thrive. So be it in our minds. Dayatinu walaro ne gane galunyo, eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give greetings and acknowledgments to the waters, from the oceans to the streams, to the waters flowing in our bodies. Water is life. So be it in our minds. Dayatinu walaro ne gonjong su'a, eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give thanks and gratitude to the fish life who help to purify the water and provide us with nourishment. So be it in our minds. Dayatinu walaro ne yotunduni, eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give greetings and acknowledge all of the plants, from the grasses to the medicines that help to purify and strengthen our bodies. So be it in our minds. Daitinu walaro ne otzitno wasua, eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give thanks and acknowledge the insects who help to pollinate the plants. So be it in our minds. Daitinu walaro ne jonhekwa, eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give acknowledgement to our sustenance foods. So be it in our minds. Dayatinu walaro ne wa yariunta, eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give acknowledgement and gratitude to the fruit life, for they help to nourish our bodies. So be it in our minds. Dayatinu walaro ne gondirion, eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give gratitude and greetings to the animals, some who sacrifice their lives for our nourishment and sustenance, and who are our teachers. So be it in our minds. Dayatinu walaro ne zito ongu'a, eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give greetings and gratitude to the birds, whose beautiful singing help to uplift our spirit and bring peace and calm to our hearts. So be it in our minds. Dayatinu walaro ne galunda ongu'a, eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give greetings and we acknowledge all of the trees. We cannot live without the oxygen that they provide us. The roots and sap help to nourish and cleanse our body. So be it in our minds. Dayatinu walaro ne zower lawonyer, eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give greetings and acknowledge the circulating winds that travel the earth, bringing new life and new breath. So be it in our minds. Dai etenu walaro ne lariuerlas, eto na yontohage ne nagwat ngula. We give greetings and gratitude to our grandfather thunderers who purify the air and awaken the earth and awaken us. So be it in our minds. Datsi tawanualaron ne anjangeni galakwa eto na yontohage ne naguat nigula. We give greetings and thanks to our eldest brother's son, who appears each morning consistently to provide us with sunshine, protection, and sustenance for all living things. So be it in our minds. Daitinualaro ne asatanega wat nirele eto na yontohage ne naguat nigula. We give greetings and gratitude to our grandmother Moon for her powerful pull on our waters and connection to women and birth. So be it in our minds. Daitinualaro ne yodzistu warlunyo eto na yontohage ne naguat nigula. We give our greetings and gratitude to the stars, the cosmos, for providing us with guidance and direction. So be it in our minds. Daitinualaro ne de yonkiyadadon, eto na yontohage ne naguat nigula. We give thanks and greetings to our protectors, our spiritual guardians, who help to bring clarity of mind and peace to our hearts. So be it in our minds. Datsi dawanualaro ne sungwayendeso, eto na yontohage ne naguat nigula. We give thanks and we acknowledge creation, the Great Spirit, the creative energy that lives in everything, in everywhere, and in all of us. So be it in our minds. Da eto ni gawanage da eto. Nyawe, thank you for listening to those words of thanksgiving. It's a very shortened version that I learned from Dehahande Miller from Six Nations. If we were to say the whole Thanksgiving address, we would be here from 3 to a week long, because we'd have to thank every insect, every plant, every tree by name. So we won't do that today, but you get the idea that when we acknowledge the immensity of the creative living universe, we also have humble acknowledgement of our place as humble custodians, as human beings. It places context to our interdependence and our interconnections, but most importantly, our responsibilities for upholding balance with care and gratitude. And we are grateful today to be here in this room with all of you in acknowledgement and celebration of all of your achievements, especially throughout this challenging times that we've had. Let us take this time to really honor all of the work that has been done and honor each other. I would like to also acknowledge the family and supports that have helped the graduates to be here today in their milestone event. It's very important, and we're all proud of your accomplishments. Please enjoy the ceremony. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chancellor Smith. I would now like to introduce Associate Dean, Academic of Engineering, Dr. Steve Rilanovich, to make his own welcoming remarks, and then we'll present the honorary degree recipient.
Well, good afternoon. On behalf of the Faculty of Engineering, welcome to all, and congratulations to our graduates. Today is a day of celebration. It's a day of celebration certainly for our graduates. We're celebrating the completion of incredibly rigorous courses of study at one of the top educational institutions in the world. Those who supported our graduates throughout their journey, and many of you are joining us here today, played a large part of this success, and they're also celebrating with us today. And finally, our Faculty of Engineering, as a learning community, as a Fireball family, celebrates the amazing successes of our graduates and is incredibly proud of what they have and what they will achieve. Regardless of the program of study that you're graduating from today, you've studied some pretty tough subjects. You know, the calculus, the statistics, the algebra, the physics, the chemistry, and even a side of biology for some of you. But equally important, you've learned how to apply these skills to tackle really challenging problems that matter, problems that have an impact on us all. And following on this theme of using our skills, talents, and energy to have a positive impact on our communities, both local and global, it is my distinct privilege to present the honorary degree recipient today. Chancellor Smith, by the authority of the Senate of McMaster University, I have the honor to present Barry Hill. Barry Hill is a two-time McMaster University graduate and a professional engineer who worked for Ontario Hydro for nearly 3 decades, serving as a project manager for the construction of power generating stations, including Lakeview, Nanticoke, and Darlington. While with Ontario Hydro, he also established a Native Circle for the organization's employees and contributed to the Sustainable Development Policy. In 1979, Mr. Hill and his wife Cheryl founded Hillsfield Farms, a 2,000-acre grains and oilseeds farm on the Six Nations of the Grand River Territory. Mr. Hill subsequently became one of the founders of the Integrated Grain Processors Cooperative, which enhances the purchasing power for crops and livestock inputs for more than 20 farms. The cooperative established a model since followed by a number of other First Nations communities across Canada. Mr. Hill also helped found the cooperative's $150 million ethanol plant in Aylmer, Ontario, which is now one of Canada's largest corn processors. A founding member of the Six Nations Farmers Association and a founding president of the First Nations Agri-Group Co-op, he has also served as a board member of the Food Systems Partnership and of the Two Rivers Community Development Center. The latter center works with enterprises in the Mississaugas and the Six Nations communities, becoming yet another innovative model that has inspired similar organizations across the country. Mr. Hill has been a consultant to the Six Nations Economic Development Corporation and served as president of both the Ontario Soil and Crop Improvement Association and the Brant County Federation of Agriculture. Mr. Hill is a respected contributor to newspapers, including the Brantford Expositor, where he has written on issues from energy to agriculture. He was the first Native instructor at the Six Nations Polytechnic, teaching mathematics, computers, and business management for a decade. He also served as the organist of Her Majesty's Royal Chapel of the Mohawks and St. Paul's Church of the Shwekan. He has contributed significantly to the preservation of the chapel, which was Upper Canada's first Protestant church, and as chairman of the committee that oversaw the restoration of that iconic venue, he researched and recorded the building's history in a 78-page book. Mr. Hill has received honors that reflect the diversity of his interests and contributions. He was named Brant County Farmer of the Year in 2011, was a finalist in the 2014 BMO Farm Family Awards. A recipient of the Six Nations Community Treasures Award, he was inducted into the McMaster Alumni Gallery in 2016 and received the 150 Canada Award in Brant County in 2017 and was inducted into the Ontario Agricultural Hall of Fame in 2018. He also received an honorary degree from the University of Guelph, where he and his wife established the Barry Hill and Cheryl Hill Scholarship. Chancellor Smith, I present to you Barry Hill, a McMaster alumnus, an engineer, an entrepreneur, a cultural champion, and an agricultural innovator, so that you may confer upon him the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Barry Hill, by the authority of the McMaster University Senate, I have the great pleasure to confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, in McMaster University, with all the rights and privileges pertaining to that degree. You can sign your name. I would now like to invite Dr. Hill to deliver the Convocation Address.
Madam Chancellor, President Farrar, honored guests, graduands, family and friends. Wow. This is a good afternoon, first of all, and Sego. This is truly a momentous occasion for me. to be back with engineers. I don't get as much chance as I used to, so maybe you'll know what I'm talking about. But I'd like to just reflect very briefly on my time here at McMaster. It was 60 years ago that I arrived on campus with my brand new $20 slide rule. And it was an exciting time. I chose McMaster over other institutions because I had the sense of the vibrancy and the openness and the willingness to try new things that ultimately is proven right. When I started, this faculty was small. Dr. Hodgins is still teaching a course, and if you took his exam, you had to remember actually everything he said to get a good mark. We were experimenting with things. We had a fellow that decided that he would like to broaden his education. He convinced Dr. Hodgins to let him take his degree over 5 years and take other courses in arts and history, which now you're doing a course with your expanded curriculum. Professor Siddall had us, because there was only 7 of us left in 4th year mechanical, we did a project team. Every month, one of us was chief engineer, and we designed a transportation system as a team. And that now is apparently common practice. I was going to only spend about a minute on each of the 60 years. You got the math, all right. But my past isn't as important as your future. As much fun it would be to talk about going from humble beginnings with no hydro to nuclear power, designing things in angle iron to safety critical software later on, things like biomass and ethanol and renewable fuels. It's been an exciting career opportunity to participate in all these different ventures, with a focus and many times on trying to promote self-sufficiency and economic development within the First Nations communities around things like engineering and agricultural endeavors. Done some work lately with, of course, with another university on food security, food sustainability, and those are important issues in today. Energy and agriculture have been my focus, and they are priorities for us all. But so much for me. I want to talk about you for a bit, or at least pass on a couple of things that I've observed and learned along life's highway. For many years, I walked through a door in the morning on the way to work, over which was an inscription in stone with the Latin phrase, Dona naturae pro populi sunt. You got to remember, I took Latin all the way through high school, so I knew what that meant. And what it means is that the gifts of nature are for the people. And that inspired me. I thought I was doing something very useful to help transform and create energy solutions from the gifts of nature. If that was written 100 years or so ago, if we were to do it now, there'd be an asterisk saying that you have to be fully cognizant of the environment and the impacts you're having on it, the impacts of people in which these resources reside and where these people reside, and the impacts you're having on the future. But that is still what you're going to be doing a lot of the time, because you are, with your training and your knowledge, you are the enablers of society. You are the ones that are going to make things happen. And that's an important thing to remember. build on that reputation. It's very important that people will hire you because you can get things done. I've been called in an occasion to rescue a project because someone got too complicated and tried to gild a lily, and then the project didn't go well. And it's important to be known as someone who can get the job done. You hear a lot more now about Indigenous knowledge, and it's an important consideration. It's not a universal thing. My Indigenous knowledge, if I had some, would not compare with the knowledge of people in British Columbia or other parts of Canada, because Indigenous knowledge is based upon a close association with the environment and the location in which you reside, based on observation and experience over time. And you are going to be doing the same thing, but your environment now, your locale, consists of extra layers of knowledge built upon that original foundation. You've now acquired the knowledge to analyze and predict outcomes, and that's an important aspect. Never lose sight of the foundations from which you're working. It's important to respect that in what you do, even though it is probably well beyond my understanding of what some of you are doing at this point. I was so thrilled the other day. I went to the MMRI lab and spoke with some of the students, and the excitement and they had with the work they're doing, the passion they showed, took years off me. You know, it was just so exciting. So I congratulate all of you for that. It's not all heavy-duty, worrisome things. I want you to get out there and have fun. I want you to embrace life, embrace change. There will be sad times, unbearably sad times as life goes forward, but you'll live through it. And never lose that passion that got you this far. Never lose that wonder, that excitement for learning, because you will be constantly changing over time. It's just amazing the things that you can experience as you go forward. It was Buffy St. Marie, if you know who she is, singer, songwriter, activist, who once said in a CBC interview, "Don't be afraid to evolve, but don't be afraid to stay the same." Complicated, but what that means to me is embrace change, grow, learn, and expand your knowledge and expand your abilities to cope with the new world. But don't lose that passion, that interest that you started with. The one thing that binds us all together, regardless of who we are or where we came from, is that as human beings, we all have hope. We hope for the future. We hope for ourselves. We hope for our families. That is what binds us, this feeling of hope for the future. One last comment in Latin. Back in the, I don't think we do the Marmor anymore, do we? It used to be a yearbook, and it had graduation pictures, plus a lot of other silly things about what's going on on campus. Kind of like a high school yearbook, probably why they got rid of it. And so there were pictures in there of graduation pictures, and below, of course, you had an inscription or a famous saying that people would put. So on mine, I put Elis Valet Propries. Of course, I studied Latin. And it meant a lot to me at the time, because one interpretation of that was, one translation was that he paddles his own canoe. It had been a time in my era, they weren't the support networks that they are today. Scholarships and assistants were few and far between. I was fortunate to get very good summer jobs every year, so I was able to pay my way through because tuition was, I won't even say what it is because you spend that much on dinner now, right? But the proper translation is he flies by his own wings, or it could be she flies by her own wings. So self-sufficiency and getting out there and trying and going forward. So all of you graduates, the time has come for you to leave the nest, get out there and fly by your own wings. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Dr. Hill. I would now like to welcome Dr. David Farrar, President and Vice Chancellor, to the podium to present the graduates to our Chancellor for admission to their degrees.
Will the graduates please rise? This is the point at which they turn the lights on and you stand up and we all get to see you. And this is the important bit in the ceremony. This is when you actually get your degree. Madam Chancellor, on behalf of McMaster University Senate, I present to you these candidates and those in absentia, in order that you may confer the appropriate degrees upon them, and I bear witness that they are worthy and suitable.
Graduands, by my authority and that of the McMaster University Senate, I have the great pleasure to admit those before me today and those in absentia to their individual degrees at McMaster University, with all the rights and privileges pertaining to those degrees. My sincere congratulations to you all. Please be seated.
Graduates, I would now ask each of you to join me on stage so the Chancellor and I may welcome you to the McMaster community of scholars. I would be delighted to shake your hand or bump your fist or touch your elbow or acknowledge your accomplishments without touching. Our Chancellor will acknowledge your accomplishments without touching. Congratulations.
Honored guests, so that each graduate's name may be heard, it would be appreciated if during the presentation of graduands, you would hold your collective applause to the end of each degree category. Thank you. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Shusheng Li. Zhang Zheng. Fatima Abokamasemi Karagan. Gaoling Feng. Sahan Jafari. Abdallah Swaki Abdallah Mohammed Ghazi. Nishat Kashyap. Juan Liu. Daniel Tajek. Gayan Madusaka Armadasan Wadudaji. Kadia Maribas Kiani. Mahmoud Amir Ahmed Adelfado. Saria Askardos. Muhammad Ali Bauba. Shrikant Dumadara. Aslam Hassan. Shanxi Ho. Yixing Wangfu. Hossein Razafar. Andrew Leclerc. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Master of Science. Kwoknak Do. Holly Capone. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Master of Applied Science. Muhammad Aladdin Abu Allah. Ziki Do. Prakar Garga. Muhammad Ali Abdel Nabi. Shiva Goswami Dokordi. Mana Naza Abd Kramasha. Shekhar Ramahan Singh Tandal. Islam Hosamaddin Adel Azim Zahar. Miriam Hosencourt. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Master of Engineering. Lina L. Sadek. Prashi Go. Rocheka Rawat. Safi Rezi Abatha. Miriam Ali. Khadiji Azim. Sandara Dasara. Monish Othapa Molera Changagapa. Pranil Rathi. Gursamaran Kaur Sabravi. Jacqueline Xing. Jiangxi Shi.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Engineering and Management. Aya Abuganam. Ahmed Afifi. Raveen Apuhami. Andre Hani Wagi Gendi Assad. Youssef Asham. Kritika Baliga. Rajdeep Singh Boparai. Dylan Boudreau. Baosheng Chang. Paulette Chi. Yulin Chen. Kyle Anthony Culliton. Mark Bassem Daniel. Stuart Richard Dennis. Jasleen Kaur Diol. Enveer Singh Dillon. Joshua Aiden DeVito. William Robert Donaldson. Abdul Rahman Mohammed Ali El Gendi. Kevin File. Mina Farid Favzi Shaker Gali. Benjamin Goldfarb. Joshua Gordon Guinness. Mina Hezki. Saida Zara Hussein. Stephanus Brian Jonathan. Yahya Khaled Kandil. Tyler Albert Smart Kite. Daryl Young. Lin Jae Leung, Matthew Ambrolio Laconte, Dominic Harry Lutchman, William McLeod, Mohammed Mahmoud, Nicholas Mari, Samuel Allen McQuaig, William Melinuchki, Omar Mufta, Jayant Kumar Nuttapalapati, Ao Manish Patel, Kathan Gopabalhai Patel, Zaina Karishi, Justine Kaur Randev, Siddharth Ravichandran, Ranveer Singh Rahal, Syed Arish Salim, Omar Ahmed Said Sanand, Shakil Savji, Stephen Matthew Scott, Neet Shah, Funan Shi, Runje Shi, Lance Ferdinand Soto Sikoko, Benjamin Joseph Stevens, King Heng Tam, Yu Guang Tang, Benjamin Thomas Torres Kulik, Nicholas Torres, Alex Tsao, Dean Van Hukelum, Ankur Verma, Chifeng Shu, Gabriel Wingyan Yu, Madam Chancellor, may I present you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Engineering and Society. Joshua Benjamin Arbus, Shirley Barsom, Patricia Frances Boucher, Jennifer Annette Braun, Jackson Brown, Brianna Kelly Kahn, Arthur Farron, Manon Flynn, Eric Grace, Jonathan Philip Schultz Jensen, Desmond Jeffrey Kennedy, Brandon LaBelle, Abhijit Mani, Vitali Matsur, Alexander Samuel Mo, Alina Morales Neira, Marcelinas Mika Muiladi, Aaron Kennedy Nunn, Christopher William Shankula, Julian Simeonov, Austin Junpei Takeda, Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Engineering. Kasra Abbasi, Huzair Abbasi, Ziad Tarek Abdel Salam, Amr Sayed Moham Abd El Shakur, Abdallah Abdul Maksud, Saru Abu Hatab, Samiran Akilasan, Ahmed Louis Al-Kwas, Hassan Al-Sabunchi, Nevan Aris Alexanian, Shahad Al-Hussein, Sana Ali, Sania Fatima Ali, Noor Al-Safadi, Rumsha Ansari, Tishko Araz, Shazil bin Arif, Muhammad Arzam, Rija Asif, Muhammad Shamoun Beg, Melissa Hoda Bayochi, Samuel Robert Baker, Shisan Balachandran, Dhenrajan Balendra, Fahad Bandali, Samridi Bandlish, Michael Alexander Barrios Gabor, Michael Ashraf Bashkaheroun, Nathan Best, Aisha Bhutto, Clara Bojcic, Matthew Braden, Thomas David Britnell, Owen Martin Bruce, Zayad Bouder, Joshua Stephen Budsha, Anil Singh Budwal, Adam Buyak, Ricky Lee Hui Chan. Fawad Ahmad Chowdhury. Liang Yu Chen. Shengyuan Chen. Yifeng Michael Chen. Holden Scott Child. Isaac Shugwan Cho. Lu Ming Chu. Kanakapa Chowdhury. Devesh Rajesh Chudasama. Chandler Ko. Mitchell Anthony Cook. Samuel Joseph Crawford. Lucia Alda Costa Cristiano. Emily Gertrude Crow. Connor Sung Charnock. Syed Ahmed Daniel. Bao Kwok Do. Trung Hee Don. Zhuo Ran Dong. Ashley Marie Doost. Alexander William Dubois. Adam Durrani. Christabel Chinewaya Ehirim. Sharif Eid. Saif Karam El Tobgi. Andrew William Elder. Amin El Jaribi. Omar Sharif Mohammed Mahmoud El Mada. Saif Fadel. Christian Angelo Faronato. Rida Fatima. Andrew Ross Falconer. Sean Stephen Fear. Lisha Marie Fernando. Stephen Luan Fu. Matthew Charles Fulton. Derek Francis Furtado. Fascista Gande. Ge Gao. Anuj Garsha. Suren Golami. Pavneet Gill. Neil Adwait Gokale. Janlin Guan. Alessandra Guerioni. Tanishk Gupta. Sirak Hale. Benson Hall. Alexander William Hallgrimson. Andy Hamid. Jiang Han. Sasila Leo Harapura Chuchi. Gareth James Harwood. Joel Hayden. Emmanuel Omaninim Hector. Samuel Brian Hemming. Veronica Hensel. Alexander William Anthony Hibbs. Ali Shaheen. Nat Huang. Hisu Hong. Yansong Hu. Bebe Huang. Junbo Huang. Xiangyu Huang. Xiangming Huang. Xinyu Huang. Andrew Michael Hum. Rafeh Hussein Babavidin. Ryan Akbar Hussein. Asad Hussain. Ala Ibrahim. Bola Atef Kamal Ibrahim. Ibtesham Imran. Muhammad Daniel Imran. Liam Matthew Irwin. Akshay Matthews Jacob. David Michael Jalonen. Benjamin Douglas Jarvis Frayne. Uzair Jawed. Devin Joseph Jakhveri. Sumer Singh Karir. Gushig Kashavikdashib Tubu. Lucas James Fritz Kaune. Akila Kawasika Kavinisinge. Stanley David Jr. Connick. Efim Kazmin. Ankur Keriwal. Amreen Fatima Khan. Maida Tariq Khan. Mohammed Afif Khan. Suleiman Khan. Brian Mujununi Kibazoui. Brian Klimuntovsky. William Leslie Knight. Kyle David Kozielski. Rishesan Kuhesan. Caitlin Elizabeth Kuzler. Lucas Earl Landry. Sharujan Langeswaran. Eden Lazar. Harvinder Singh Lahal. Mengshi Lee. Benjamin Lee. David Lee. Min Kong Lee. Jieming Lee. Eric S. Liang. Sarah Renee Little. Chang Liu. Wei Liu. Saren Liu. Derek Liu. Shangyu Liu. Clayton Douglas McNeil. Marwan Hamdi Madkour. Sahan Manjith Mathipala. Lawrence Mak. Karthik Manayil. Samuel Jeffrey Mander. Michael Anthony Mazer. Nicholas Robert Matthias. Nathan Matthew. Adam Christopher Monsell. Yuan Meng. Ryan Gary Men. Bishoy Gurgis Mikhail. Joel David Miller. Declan Bruce Francis Mills. Riley William Mione. Neil Chetan Kumar Mistry. Rishan Mistry. Abdul Rab Mohammed. Mustafa Yasser Mosen. Michelle Monte. Aaron Kazuo Mori. Farhan Muhammad. Hamza Muhammad.
Nuba Naknikian. Nafia Nawa. Najim Naziri. Paramvir Singh Nihal. Daniel William Nurden. Odawala Milola Antonia Orole. Perry Tristan Osler. Eric Pan. Amrit Singh Panta. Sayanthan Sean Paramananthan. Justin Michael Pasquale. Ray John Pastolero. Meet Sanjay Patel. Perv Dipesh Kumar Patel. Raj Hiteskumar Patel. Sahil Anilkumar Patel. Arun Paksuningam. Shamil Pereira. Pasa Pilivari. Jack Harry Swisher Poulton. Matthew Thomas Poulton. Graham Nicholas Butler Power. Ruvain Puneswarajan. Johnson Jinshao Q. Omar Mohammed El Sayed Rabi. Louis Abel Refuse. Vineeth Sivawandras Rajaratnam. Hussein Abbas Rasawala. Mia Raza. John Cyril Respicio. Sakib Reza. Sahim Asim Raiz. Michael Romeo Villarreal Rosa. Justin Andrew Rosner. Alex Rowinski. Hamel Roy. Jaskirat Rupal. Nathalie Sode. Nicole Marie Sode. Adibawale Ashat Saka. Alexander Philip Samaha. Nisura Samarajirwa. Kidi Sang. Taha Sakib. Nafisa Labiba Sarowa. Lucas Tyler Scarf. Ulasan Sethilraja. Azim Shah. Minaj Ijaz Shah. Parin Pareshbhai Shah. Ayman Iqbal Sheikh. Zain Sheikh. Abdul Mutal Sharif. Uday Sharma. Rutvik Niravkumar Sheth. Prathmesh Jirish Shetty. Muhammad Shoaib. Teng Shu. Tana Edward Albert Sims. Raimi Emilio Simpson. Hashimran Singh. Karanbir Singh. Michael James Skells. Connor William Smith. Liam Elliott Smolinars. Adrian Sohanuski. Hashin Sodi. Mohammed Harris Sohail. Rofu Song. Jonathan Daniel Spinelli. Michael William Steyer. Howard Sue. Joshua Kumar Sukra. Chang Sun. Jacob Oliver Suthens. Omar Syed. Pierre Tadrus. Rafael Takla. Juan Andres Tayavo. Martin Katrin Tam. Shunda Tang. Manur Tariq. Kyle Edmund Trevor Thatcher. Yerin Nirsila Thevaraja. David Edward Thompson. Madeline Ann Thompson. Mrinal Kumar Tiwari. Eric Tran. Chun-Ho Shea. Raymond K. Tu. Jinthujan Kumar. Ryan Jams Vanden Heuvel. Vansaj Verma. Abhilash Vijayanathan. Samindeep Sikh Verdi. Christopher Vishnu. Marco Vishnik. Shivam Alkesh Kumar Vyas. Viren Wagela. Andrew Ehab William Waba. Shenshu Wan. Jiawei Wang. Luoji Wang. Michael Wang. Wenji Wang. Yingguang Wang. Zhengguan Wang. Mingyu Wei. Matthew David Williams. Jacob Donald Wilson. Skylar Mary Evelyn Wingfelder. Graham Jonathan Woods. Quinlan Ellis Woods. Dee Wu. Johnny Wu. Shenshan Wu. Shua Wu. Shuje Wu. Wenshuo Shu. Jiming Yan. Shuai-Chen Wang. Yichen Yao. Elon Max Yaffe. Shioda Ye. Tyson Austin Yi. Etienne Yehuda. Jae-young Yu. Jiangchuan Yu. Quan Yuan. Yuchen Yuan. Sicheng Yu. Anando Zaman. Christopus Zeromskis. Guangyao Zhai. Chengshin Zheng. Qianshu Zheng. Shuming Zheng. Jingchen Zhao. Merlin Zhao. Changnan Zhu. Edward Zhu.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Applied Science. Parsa Abadi. Tahseen Ahmed. Sunny Bahat. Jennifer Zen Chung. Jessica Ainsley DeLuick. Syed Azam Farouk. Manav Garg. Jeffrey Connor Gibson. Kazi Rafid Ibrahim. Anant Jain. Haryesh Jayanathan. Fanping Jiang. Heilan Khan. Ankit Kapoor. Kuber Khanna. Meijing Lee. Kenneth Chunkit Mak. Abdullah Nafis. Orlando Ortega de los Santos. Karanjot Singh Sani. Hishmat Ahmad Salehi. Bilaval Sharma. Chitwan Sharma. Khizar Muhammad Siddiqui. Hang Su. Shivam Tanea. Mohammed Anis Tariq. Fang Yi. Charles Zhang. Tiani Zhang.
Well, let's give another round of applause for our graduates. Woo! Woohoo! I would now like to introduce Ms. Aya Abagan, a graduate of the degree Bachelor of Engineering and Management in the Engineering and Management Co-op program, who will be delivering the valedictory address.
Thank you. Madam Chancellor, President and Vice Chancellor Dr. Farrar, Provost and Vice President Academic Dr. Tai, Associate Deans Dr. Hanilovich and Dr. Thompson, other esteemed faculty members of McMaster University and Mohawk College, staff, fellow graduates, and finally our loved ones here to celebrate this great day with us. Welcome. Now I realize we engineers aren't exactly the greatest in spelling and grammar or writing essays, but give us some formulas and we can write you one detailed crib sheet. Speaking of which, got mine right here. Professor said one page, but I did get front and back. So, to help me with part of this speech, I asked some fellow graduates how they would describe their university journey in a single word. And here's what McMaster's best and brightest gave me. Words like growth, satisfying, inspirational, fluid, quick, holistic development, and other words like long, hard, painful, but just so many unique words to describe so many unique experiences. Because while we all may be here graduating together at the same time, our journeys to get to this point are all different. And that's what we are here to celebrate. The struggles, the joys, and the stresses that came with our journey at McMaster. Think of all the friends we made along the way, the hobbies and passions we discovered, or even those late nights in Thode, splitting a lava pizza with friends as you all prepared for that 9 a.m. exam. So many amazing experiences. Experiences that made us who we are today. Whether you're graduating from BTech, Comp Sci, one of the engineering streams, or one of the first grads of iBiomed, take a moment to reminisce and bask in all the glory of now being able to say, we did it. Now, looking towards our future, here's a quote from Gandhi. Be the change you want to see in the world. Now, you may have heard of this quote before, but really, be the change you want to see in the world. This is the quote I came into university wanting to always achieve. It's what pushed me to volunteer and to join clubs. It kept reminding me that if you want to see change, then you got to make that change. And I believe this quote applies to us more than ever as we enter a world that will probably need a lot of change. We're engineers. We change the world. And we're about to head into a crazy world out there, getting out of our cozy McMaster bubble, and are about to face new challenges. But we're ready. We are now equipped with the skills we gained during our time here. We learned to pivot in more ways than one. Like, remember that time we had to do online school? We learned to chase after those big ideas, and that we can be great entrepreneurs and great innovators. And no matter how long and hard and painful it might get, just know this, you can get through it. The world out there is crazy, but we can and we will be the change. Massive congratulations to the Faculty of Engineering, class of 2022. And before I leave, I want all of you to chime into this next part, which may sound familiar. As I said before, we're engineers. We change the world. How much of it? Oh. Thank you, congratulations.
Thank you, Aya. May I now call upon the Associate Dean, Academic of Engineering, Dr. Steve Rilanovich, who will present the Governor General's Award for Academic Medal and the Ontario Professional Engineers Foundation for Education Gold Medal.
Thank you, Provost Tai. The Governor General's Academic Medal is one of the most prestigious awards a student in Canada can receive. Established in 1873, this honor recognizes exceptional academic achievement at the high school, collegiate, undergraduate, and graduate levels. Each year, McMaster awards just 3 Governor General's silver medals to the students at the university who have achieved the highest academic standing at the undergraduate level. Earning this accolade not only places this year's recipients among the top students to graduate from McMaster, it places them amongst the top students in all of Canada. On behalf of Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Mary Simon, it gives me great pride to present 2 of the Governor General's Academic Silver Medals to Mitchell Cook and Christopher Shankula. Madam Chancellor, I ask you that you and all those present join me to express recognition of this achievement. Thank you. Honored guests, I'd like to present the Ontario Professional Engineers Foundation for Education Gold Medal, which is awarded for outstanding achievements in a program in engineering. I am pleased to announce that the winner is Christopher Shankula.
Congratulations, Mitchell and Christopher. May I invite our President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. David Farrar, back to the podium to deliver the President's Address.
Chancellor Santi Smith, distinguished guests, award winners, faculty, members of McMaster community, members of the McMaster graduating class of 2022, friends and family. It's really good to see you here in person, not on a small screen in a small square. For 2 years, we've been dealing with an unwelcome guest in our lives, a global pandemic that has reminded us of how fragile our lives really are and how much we need to be together. Members of the graduating class, for 2 years you have worked through the isolation, disruption, and possibly even health challenges and personal losses that have come from COVID-19. Despite the formidable challenges to completing your degree, you persisted. So let me congratulate you on your ability to thrive, to adapt, and to succeed. As McMaster graduates today, you have the opportunity to choose a vision for your future and a vision for our planet. The question is, what will you do with that choice, that freedom, that power? Undoubtedly, in the last 2 years, you've had the time to reflect on what really matters to you and what your next steps may be. Today, we find ourselves facing not only a global pandemic, but an alarming decline in the strength of our democratic institutions, the acceleration and the negative impacts of climate change, an increasing gap in wealth between classes, and the possibility of a widening war in Eastern Europe. The changes seem so great, and sometimes they can be overwhelming. We leave us with a sense of powerlessness. What can we do as individuals to address these significant questions and to make a difference. Your valedictorian spoke to you about your generation going out and changing things. Let me offer two very small examples. 50 years ago, a social worker from Philadelphia who was concerned about the hunger and food insecurity that she was seeing in low-income neighborhoods in the area she was working, published a small paperback book called Diet for a Healthy Planet. This was one of the original editions. I was an undergraduate when this book was written. Frances Moore LePay's argument was that universal access to healthy and sustainable diets would provide a global springboard to a better economy, a better environment, more functional democracies, and increased social justice. Moore LePay was not a vegetarian, but it seemed obvious to her that growing plants for consumption was more cost-effective and more eco-friendly than raising animals for food. The book reflected her deep concern for our small, interconnected planet, and that it was failing in its responsibility to meet the fundamental needs of people for enough healthy food. The connections between healthy food and strong democracies may seem obvious today, but at the time of Diet for a Small Planet, it was considered radical and dangerous. Moore LePay's ideas and arguments were attacked by large food processing companies, by agribusinesses, and by the meat industry. At the same time, her vision was influencing a new generation of farmers, cooks, and restaurateurs. The farm-to-table movement, community-supported agriculture, sustainable farming, and organic farming can all be traced back to the revolutionary ideas contained in this small book. It sold millions of copies and has been reissued this year in its 50th anniversary edition. It was a small vision, a vision of hope and possibility, but it called for the courage to act, both individually and together. Another really small example closer to home. A few years ago, Canada's largest bakery was asked to create Canada's largest bakery created a sustainability team to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and divert waste from landfills. One of the company's suppliers had raised the question of the small plastic bread tags. They seem almost insignificant, but the company knew if you place these small tags side by side, they would go from Vancouver to St. John's, Newfoundland, and back. It took them a bit of time, but they developed a completely sustainable cardboard bread tag that is recyclable and compostable. This month, they've actually started to use them on their products. A couple of examples of small change. So what will you do with your McMaster degrees? Maybe your passion will be global warming or inequality or social justice or health or medicine, technology and engineering. But given the pace of change, there may be problems that we can't even imagine. So how do you prepare for that? Look back at your years at McMaster, and I think you'll see the answer. You prepare by being curious, resilient, cooperative, ambitious, determined, by challenging assumptions and focusing on facts, and by making courageous choices. I encourage you, as you celebrate this important milestone, to think a little bit about your contributions to a better, brighter world. Your McMaster degree has equipped you with the tools to solve critical problems and to make a positive impact on our community. I'm confident that you will learn from the experience and the insight that you've gained through living through this pandemic and create a world worth having. And finally, when you receive your diploma from McMaster, you'll note there's only one name on it, yours. But I suspect many people have helped you get to this day of your graduation. So I hope you'll take the time to thank those in your life who have helped you get here. The end of your studies and the granting of your degree may feel as if you're crossing a finish line, but you're actually just beginning. I wish you the very best on your journeys. Welcome to the worldwide community of McMaster alumni.
Thank you, Dr. Farrar. May I invite our Chancellor, Ms. Santee Smith, back to the podium to deliver her closing remarks.
Yahweh, congratulations. I just have a couple of things to say. Class of 2022, let's go! Yoyanale. Yoyanale in Gayengeha translates to mean good job or well done. So Yoyanale to all of you. And Yoyanale to Aya and Mitchell and Christopher for your achievements and continued success. I want to welcome you to the McMaster alumni family, and you're always welcome to come back to continued research, collaborations, partnerships. I'm a McMaster alumni, and I've returned many times, even just to go onto the campus and have fond memories of the place. Yoyanale, President Farrar, for your words. I hope you all take those words with you and the importance of the impacts that you will be making in the future. I would also just like to leave to say, we're not thinking about it right now, but the decisions that we make today will affect the next 7 generations. It's part of the 7 generations teachings. It's really important how we think about what type of future ancestors we would like to be, what kind of world we would like to leave the next 7 generations of humanity, but also all of the things that we thanked at the beginning of this ceremony. Once again, congratulations to you all. Now in closing, I have a few final announcements. A reception will be held for the graduates and their guests in the Wentworth Room in the Convention Center immediately following the ceremony. I also encourage graduates and guests to make their way to the mezzanine level where there's a number of photo opportunities that have been set up in and outside the Great Hall. Finally, I would ask that you please remain standing at your seats until the academic procession and the graduates have left the hall. Please join in the singing of the national anthem, and after the singing of the anthem, this convocation stands adjourned. Yoyanale.